Hello, guys. Welcome back to another part of the series where I'm just doing a short introduction to my three tanks. So I'm doing my Fluval Roma, my Fluval Plex 57 liter, and this beauty, which is my Aquael 20 liter tank. But anyways, this tank here was originally actually supposed to be just a shrimp only tank. I had a colony of Skittles actually. It was a Skittles tank I had. So I had a couple yellows, orange, lilies, red. I had like a few wild types in here, and it was going okay. Everything was going okay until, bear in mind, this is my first time keeping the Caribbean shrimp. Everything was going okay until I decided to do a water change, in which this was my first tank in a long while. So the whole starting process was a bit of a blur to me. I won't lie to you. So yeah, I did a water change, and then that night I kind of noticed that they were doing that thing where they was like on the top of the plants, in which at that point I started to panic worry. So I put like a oxygen tube in there, which seemed to have done the trick. Woke up the next morning, half of them were dead. The rest of them were either not moving or they were still like, kind of at the top of the floating plants, gasping. So long story short, I lost my shrimp after that. I did go through a process after that where I just didn't know what I was gonna do with this tank. I was gonna just take it down. Bear in mind, this was my first. This is my first ever nano tank. I haven't. Not a lie. I had a nano tank like 5, 6 years ago, but I just kept like a small Betta in there, and I wasn't really doing much with that. It was more so a hospital tank for like my main tank. Yeah, so I just pretty much had this tank just sitting, doing nothing. Like it had water in it. I think I moved the plants that were in there into my main tank. So it just had the water and the substrate in it, and I was just like, yeah, I'm done. Hell no, I wasn't done. This is fish keeping. Yeah, so what did I do? Basically, I said to myself, I'm either gonna try again with the shrimp, or let me get a baby, baby. Let me get a Siamese fighting fish, aka Mr. Betta. Um, I've had quite a few fighters in the past. I've been keeping fish now for, I don't know, maybe I would say over 8 years. I would say at least over 8 years. Could be more, could be less, but I would say at least 8 years. Um, I've done okay with betters. I've had a crown tail, Dumbo ear. They've lasted. When I say okay, as in they've lasted a decent amount of time. In terms of, we all know how betters are. Obviously, they're bred for profit a lot. They've just been bred over and over again. So the average better is never gonna live long. When I say I've done well, I mean at least mine have lasted at least 6 months at least. I had my original beta. I had that one for 2.5 years, which was a standard normal. It was like a black and purple one, Lyra tail. But yeah, that beta was doing good. The thing with the betas is they do show a lot of personality as well, which is really good. Like whether it's their bubbleness, how they maneuver, how they swim, when they see like other wildlife in the tank. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I picked this bad boy up from. I was gonna say Fish Planet London, but if I remember correctly, I bought this online. Actually, I think it was Discount Aquatics or something like that, maybe. Um, but yeah, got this bad boy, and he's been living in here since I want to say July, August. So he's been doing okay. He's doing okay. Um, so he's been the main inhabitant of this tank. Um, we all well, if you've owned betters, then we all know they're very, very highly temperamental. So they can live with another. They can live with other fish. They can maybe not. They might get stressed. They might go on a savage rampage and just kill everything in sight. This guy was not the most friendly at first when I had him. So I initially with this guy bought three Nerite snails and I put them in here and hello, hello Mr. Choco, hello Black Choco, hello, 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 hello. I love this one. I've got two black choco neocardinas in here. Okay, back on task. Yeah, so I tried him with the free snails. He decided to just rip them completely apart, and it was just pretty much RIP to them. Uh, I had different plans for this tank. I wanted to put, I did want to go back to breeding shrimp in here. So I put him in my main tank, which is my Endler Guppy tank, the Fluval Roma 125 liter. And he was okay in there until a few days later I saw him avidly trying to kill one of my females. One of the mainstay females, I should say, as well. But I did notice that while he was in that tank, which is my main tank that I have a lot of red cherry shrimps in there, he didn't go for the shrimps. He would be, obviously, it's a tank full of adults, juvies, and baby shrimp. He didn't go for them, surprisingly. So when I put him back in his tank here, Aquael 20 liters, I said, let me run a trial. Let me put a couple Neo Caridinos in here. And I put them in there. He saw it as they went in there. He did that little hunting thing they do where they flare up and then they tilt their body and it's just like looking. But he didn't go for them. I added a couple more. He didn't go for them. So in this tank with him, he has some Neo Caridinas that are just somewhere in here. My glass is really foggy. I should have cleaned the glass beforehand, but because they like to hang out down here. In this tank here, I do have, I think, at least 10 red Neo Caridinas, two these black chocos, which I really want to breed. Um, there's a wild type in here as well, and quite a few amount of babies I noticed a few weeks ago. Which even like when I look around, I still see them. It might not pick up on camera because this is also kind of a blackwater style aquarium. This one, um, but yeah, he hasn't tried to go for any of them. Even when they're eating their shrimp snacks and stuff, and they're in like a collective bunch, he doesn't go for them. Which I do personally think is actually a cool feat to know that he just kind of had to be groomed. Yeah, he had to be groomed in a way. So lighting wise, it's the Fluval Plant Nano, which is a powerhouse, just like all of the high end Fluval lights. As mentioned, this is a Wolster tank, so obviously I had to make sure I have a lot of stem plants and floaters at the top, so you can see all the duckweed, Ludwigia repens, which is literally with the moment it goes near the top of the surface, it just shoots out so much nice red coloration. Salvinia with these annoying little pest things on top. Other plants, I do have this bushy Java fern that I'm trying to overgrow because I really like a nice big bushy Java fern. Anubias in here. This is the Anubias that I moved from my fluval plex. It started to come back a bit, but not as much as I hoped. There's Ludwigia repens, as I mentioned. There's like, I trim this quite often, maybe like every couple of weeks, and I just either plant new shoots, put in my main tank, or just, the sad part of the hobby is throw away. At the back, you can see some jungle vallis. There's like a little bit of, I think it was Taiwan moss. I think it was. Moss is something that I 100% fail at, but this one seems to just be there. It's not really growing, it's not thriving, but it's there. Yeah, so there's more of the jungle vallis there at the back, just doing its thing. There's quite a bit of wood in here. The thing with the nanos, I won't lie to you, I do find it quite hard to fully escape them. There's just, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot going on there. It's not that there's a lot going on there, I'm just trying to do too much when I feel like the nanos just need a really simple approach, but yeah. So yes, all in all, that was my Aquael. So yes, all in all, this was my Aquael 20 liter shrimp night and day. I think that was the name of the actual bundle of the tank. It did actually, I should mention, it did come with its own light Yeah, it did come with its own light, but again, just like in my Fluvoplex, I found like that was not going to grow anything, so I had to immediately replace that with the big Fluval Nano Pro. So yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed that. That was my Aquael 20 liter shrimp day and night set. Hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. I will be doing the finale of this three-part series of just my tanks, which would be my Fluval Aroma 125 liters, my favorite tank. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Catch you in the next one. Peace.